Good evening, good evening. My pleasure to meet you again at Zoom meeting. Today we have two very interesting and important topics. The first one is about B vitamins, and the second one is about how to integrate the anti-inflammatory food into your diet. Ladies and gentlemen, please make sure that you are muted when you enter the Zoom meeting. Otherwise, we are disturbing others. So allow me to share my PPT. So we're going to start. After that, you may ask questions or you can just key in the questions in your chat box. This is going to be the second one. Let me see.
Wapo neta moto. Igondo bo.
If you can see my screen, please kindly text one in the chat box so I can see that you're responding me. Okay? Can you see the screen? Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. All right, so let's start. Have you ever heard or said, "I'm so tired," multiple times in a single week? Actually, maybe in a single day. You're not alone. About 1 in 5 adults report feeling general fatigue and constantly being tired is well, tiring. According to a recent consumer survey, the most sought after benefits from food, nutrients, and beverages across all generations is exactly
Screen is
what
not safe.
you guessed. Oh, sorry. Okay, let me restart. Thank you. Thank you for reminding me. Uh, Let me restart it. Can you see it now? Yes, I can see it that I'm sharing it. Okay, thank you. So a lot of us feel exhausted and tired. So in the shop of selling the dietary supplements, actually the most sought after benefits from the food, from the beverage nutrients across all generations is exactly what you'd guess. More energy and less fatigue. So this often leads people straight to the supplement L in search of a much needed energy boost. One popular option found on shelves today, and the one may associated with increased energy, is the B complex vitamin. So if you check the shelves of the healthcare food, so you may definitely see this kind of products, the B vitamins. So today we want to let you know and let you understand why B vitamins are so important to you. As you may know, there are 8 different B vitamins. What most of them have in common is their role in converting the food we eat into energy our bodies can use. They help initiate the processes that turn carbohydrate, fat, and proteins into a useful form of energy. If you deficient in any of the B vitamins, your body becomes far less efficient at extracting the energy it needs from food. That's exactly why a B vitamin deficiency can leave you feeling tired. So the B vitamins are a group of 8 water-soluble nutrients. They are B1, also has a name thiamine, B2, uh, riboflavin, B3, niacin, B5, pantothenic acid, B6, pyridoxine, and B7, biotin, B9, folate, B12, um, cobalamin. Okay, so this is the name of the 8 B vitamins. They're grouped together because they share related yet distinct responsibilities in the body. B vitamins are essential not only for energy production, but also for functions that affect your heart, your brain, and each and every of your cells. Remember, all B vitamins are water-soluble coenzymes. If there's one thing all B vitamins have in common, it's this. They are water-soluble vitamins that act as coenzymes. So what does this mean? Water-soluble. First, water-soluble means your body doesn't store them, so you need to consume them every day for the best result. There's one exception. Vitamin B12. Excess B12 is stored in your liver. This is the only vitamin B among all the other vitamins. It's stored in the liver, but all other vitamins, if you consume too much of them, they're just excreted from your body. And coenzyme means they help power enzymes. Enzymes are proteins that speed up the chemical reactions in your body, but they can't work alone. They need coenzymes like B vitamins to act as a switch that turns them on. So each type of B vitamins works with different enzymes. They ensure those enzymes have the power they need to metabolize food, build and repair DNA, grow healthy blood cells, and more. So in short, B vitamins make sure enzymes can do their job. Fun fact, for those keeping track, there's no vitamin B4, B8, B10, or B11, at least not anymore. Over time, these substances were found not to be vitamins at all. By definition, vitamins are compounds that are essential for our life and cannot be made by our body. You must obtain vitamins from food or dietary supplements. And just as research has shown that Pluto no longer qualifies as a planet, so B4, B8, B10, and B11 have been proven not to meet the criteria for vitamin status. So they are eliminated, moved out of this list. So now what is left is the 8 B vitamins that are truly essential for your health and that you can only get from your diet or dietary supplement. Now let's take a look at the B vitamins one by one. So the first one is B1 or thiamine. Uh, what is thiamine? What does it do? So thiamine helps your body get energy from the food you eat by turning it into ATP. You know, ATP is the energy currency of cell actually use. So it's also essential for healthy nerve cell function. Remember back to of high school biology, your cells have little powerhouses called mitochondria. So ATP is the fuel those mitochondria use to power your cells. And thiamine, it helps create that fuel. And how much do you need? Well, here's how much thiamine you need daily. According to the recommended dietary allowances for men, you need 1.2 milligrams per day. Women, 1.1 milligrams per day. Women who are pregnant or breastfeeding, 1.4 milligrams per day. Women who are pregnant, the good news is the thiamine has no limit for toxicity. So you don't have to worry about getting too much and get toxified. Then vitamin B1 deficiency. A lack of thiamine can lead to a disease called beriberi. Symptoms include if it is mild deficiency, you feel fatigue, irritability, poor memory, sleep disturbance, abdominal discomfort. And if it is severe, then you have a disease called beriberi, because it causes muscle wasting, nerve damages, paralysis, heart failure, or the Wernicke-Korsakoff syndrome, which is common in alcoholics, causing confusion, loss of muscle coordination, and vision problems. So, what kind of food are rich in vitamin B1? You'll find the highest amount of vitamin B1 in fortified breakfast cereal. The best whole food sources include the pork and fish, like the trout, tuna, mussels, and the great plant-based options are from black beans, lentils, sunflower seed, and brown rice. So this is the first vitamin B, B1. Now let's take a look at B2. It has another name, the riboflavin. Riboflavin is a component of two coenzymes that are needed for energy production, cellular function, and metabolism. It also helps to make sure the other B vitamins are doing their job. And how much do you need? Also, the RDA for riboflavin, men 1.3 milligram per day, uh, women 1.1 milligram, women who are pregnant 1.4 milligram, and women who are breastfeeding 1.6 milligram per day. Riboflavin doesn't have an upper limit for toxicity as well. So if somebody is suffering from vitamin B2 deficiency, uh, for example, those people having an underlying thyroid issue, being a vegetarian or vegan, or being pregnant or breastfeeding may raise your risk of being deficient in riboflavin. So if you notice several of the following signs and symptoms, you need to consult a healthcare professional for a deeper dive into your health. Number one, angular cheilitis, uh, that means have cracked red sores at the corner of the mouth, or cheilosis, swollen, cracked lips, or glossitis, smooth, painful, and magenta-colored tongue. Also, photophobia means sensitivity to light, sore throat, and seborrheic dermatitis. It means that you have oily, scaly skin patches. Okay, so what kind of food provide you vitamin B2? Riboflavin is commonly found in many animal products like meat and dairy. People who don't consume animal products or who eat them sparingly may be at higher risk for deficiency. It means that if you're vegan or vegetarian, you may have the vitamin B deficiency. Now, let's take a look at vitamin 3, niacin. So what does niacin do? Niacin is converted into a coenzyme that's used throughout the body for several different processes. It helps transfer the energy found in food into ATP. It also helps with the creation and repair of DNA. So how much vitamin B3 we need? The RDAs for niacin for men, 16 milligram per day, women, 14 milligram per day, women who are pregnant, 18 milligram per day, and women who are breastfeeding, 17 milligram per day. Niacin can be dangerous when taken in very large quantities, so it can cause flushing, redness, and itchiness throughout the skin. As long as you follow the instruction written on the product label, you don't have to worry about the overdose. If somebody has a vitamin B3 deficiency, you may have pellagra. Pellagra is a nutritional disease that was common in the first half of the 20th century among people with corn-based diets who consume corn that wasn't processed to allow niacin to be absorbed. Some indigenous cultures processed corn as early as 2000 BC to make niacin absorbable. Today, food manufacturers continue to fortify food so that pellagra isn't a concern for most people. So being undernourished may increase your risk for niacin deficiency. That could be caused by alcohol use disorder, anorexia nervosa. That means people who don't feel like eating, HIV and AIDS patients, inflammatory bowel disease, and cirrhosis of the liver. So malnutrition and disorders of digestive system may cause niacin deficiency. Its signs and symptoms may include, for mild deficiency, fatigue, indigestion, canker sores, depression. For severe, pellagra, uh, which has classic 4Ds. It means dermatitis, diarrhea, dementia, and death if untreated. If you want to know what food are rich in B3, then you find that meat and poultry like chicken, turkey, beef, liver, seafood like tuna and salmon, nuts and seeds including peanuts, sunflower seeds, and vegetables like mushrooms, green peas, avocado, potatoes, grains like brown rice, whole wheat, and enriched grains. So this is about vitamin B3 or niacin. Now let's take a look at B5, pantothenic acid. Pantothenic acid is used to make coenzyme A, which helps enzyme to build and break down fatty acid. It's also a popular and helpful ingredient in some skincare and hair care products. How much do you need? The adequate intake for pantothenic acid are for adults 5 milligrams per day, women who are pregnant 6 milligrams per day, women who are breastfeeding 7 milligrams per day. There's no upper limit for vitamin B5. And as long as you're eating adequate calories, it's very uncommon for people who to be deficient in pantothenic acid. But for those people with severe or other nutrient deficiency, they may have vitamin B5 deficiency. Signs and symptoms include fatigue, insomnia, depression, irritability, stomach pains, vomiting, burns feet syndrome. It means that you feel numbness and tingling in the toes and upper respiratory infections. Foods rich in vitamin B5. Actually, pantothenic acid is very common in many food we eat every day. It comes from the Greek word, pan, pantos. Actually, this is a Greek word, means everywhere because it's in so many food and food groups. You may find in fortified cereals, beef, chicken, and eggs, mushrooms, avocado, potato, broccoli, nuts and seeds, dairy milk, yogurt, brown rice, and oats. So as long as you eat balanced food, in general, if you're healthy, you don't have any other diseases, it means that you are okay with vitamin B5. Now, it's term for vitamin B6, the pyridoxine. So what does vitamin B6 do? Vitamin C is probably one of the more famous B vitamins. It is involved in over 100 enzymes reactions and crucial for brain development. Neurotransmitters production, including serotonin and dopamine, immune function, producing the lymphocyte and hemoglobin formation. So one of its jobs is to help maintain proper levels of the amino acid, homocysteine. Your body naturally produces homocysteine, but too much of it can lead to things like blood clot, hardened arteries, and heart attack. So vitamin B6 targets homocysteine and breaks it down into other substances that your body needs. So that keeps homocysteine from building up and causing damage. How much you need for vitamin B6? For adults age 18 to 50, 1.3 milligrams per day. Men aged 51 above, 1.7 milligrams per day. Women aged 51 and above, 1.5 milligrams per day. And women who are pregnant, 1.9 milligrams per day. And women who are breastfeeding, 2 milligrams per day. Excessive amount of vitamin B6 from supplements can cause severe effects. So the National Institute of Health advised that the upper limit of vitamin B6 is 100 milligrams per day. If you don't take over this dose, it is safe for you. And the deficiency of vitamin B6 can be found in people with severe malnutrition. The signs and symptoms may include the microcytic anemia. It means that your red blood cells become small and pale, leading to fatigue and weakness. So this is a special kind of anemia. And peripheral neuropathy. It means numbness, tingling, burning pain in hands and feet, and seborrheic dermatitis, oily, flaky rash on face and especially neck at the back. So you feel, itchy all over. Also confusion, depression, irritability, and weakened immune system. So food rich in vitamin B6 including poultry and meat, seafood, legumes, mixed beans, chickpeas, especially chickpeas, has very high plant source, and vegetables like potatoes with skin, winter squash, spinach, bananas, avocados, prunes, watermelon, nuts and seed, fortified breast cereals. So those foods are rich in vitamin B6. Now let's take a look at the next one, B7 or biotin. It is known as hair and nail vitamins, critical for metabolizing fats, carbohydrates, and proteins, regulates genes expression, uh, which means the cell signaling, and supports the embryonic development during pregnancy. So biotin assists the enzyme that break down the fat, the caps and protein in your food. It also helps ensure your cells work together effectively and that they carry out their assigned tasks based on instructions set out by your genes. Excuse me. I have to mute yours. I have to mute your account. Okay, so biotin assists the enzymes that break down those important uh, nutrients and also help your genes to work. How much do you need? The RDAs for vitamin 7 for adults and women who are pregnant, 30 micrograms per day. Women who are breastfeeding, 35 micrograms per day. So deficiency signs and symptoms are rare, but can be induced by eating raw egg whites long term. So thinning hair with loss of eyelashes and eyebrows. So if somebody find that their eyelashes and eyebrows start uh, falling down, they should pay attention to deficiency of vitamin B7 or brittle and splitting nails, red scaly rash around the eyes, nose, mouth, and the genitals, or neurological problems like lethargy, hallucination, and numbness and tinglings in the hands and foot, and the severe cases, seizures. So this is the vitamin B7 deficiency. Okay, now you got to ask, so what food is rich in vitamin B7? Organ meat. Beside the beef liver and chicken liver, kidney is also a very good source, but few people really eat this. And you can't eat a lot of liver because it is full of cholesterol. Vegetables including, in addition to the sweet potatoes, spinach and broccoli are good plant-based options. Beans like soya beans and other beans are good valuable source, especially for those on a plant-based diet. And yeast, nutritional yeast and brewers yeast are exceptionally rich in biotin. Okay, so now let's take a look at the most important B vitamins, B9 or folate. I think we explained this in details when we talk about the super B9 capsule. So vitamin B9, commonly called folate in food form or folic acid in supplement form. In natural form, you call it folate. So if we add it into the products, the dietary supplement, it is called folic acid. So this is the B vitamin most associated with pregnancy and prenatal vitamins. This because folate is critical for proper formation of the neural tube in early pregnancy. That is the structure that forms the early brain and spine in a developing fetus. So folate is very, very important for people who could become pregnant because often the neural tube develops before you even know you're pregnant. So if you're low in folate in those early days of pregnancy, it can raise a risk of the fetus having birth defect like spina bifida, a condition where the neural tubes doesn't fully close. Folate is also required for DNA synthesis, cell division, and red blood cells formation. So it helps lower the homocysteine, reducing the heart disease risk. How much you need? For adults, you need 400 micrograms. Women who are pregnant, 600 micrograms. Women who are breastfeeding, 500 micrograms per day. And if you're deficient of vitamin B9, you may suffer from megaloblastic anemia, another kind of anemia. It means that your red blood cells becomes large and immature. We have talked about this. They become so large that they cannot pass through the capillaries. So it causes severe fatigue, pallor, shortness of breath, severe anemia. And the neural tube defect in developing fetus, it means spina bifida and anencephaly. Also, it can cause glossitis. It means you have sore, swollen tongue, poor growth, gray hair, mouth ulcers. And for severe cases, somebody could have cognitive uh, symptoms like irritability, forgetfulness, and paranoia. The food rich in folic acid, including organ meats, beef liver, chicken liver, green leafy vegetables, spinach, collard greens, kale, asparagus, Brussels sprout, beans, including lentils, chickpeas, kidney beans, black-eyed peas, fruits including oranges, papaya, avocado, strawberries, banana, and fortified grains like the enriched bread, pasta rice, and breakfast cereal. Now let's take a look at the last one, the last but not the least, vitamin B12. So vitamin B12 is another of the heavy hitters of the B vitamin in the B vitamin family. It helps to form the red blood cells and DNA. It's also important for organ and brain function. Adults need 2.4 microgram. Women who are pregnant need 2.6 microgram, and women who are breastfeeding need 2.8 microgram. So if somebody is deficient in vitamin B12, uh, Actually, it is a lot harder to come by for people who don't eat animal products. So people who are vegan or vegetarian are generally advised to take a vitamin B12 supplement rather than relying on fortified food. A vitamin B12 deficiency can cause irreversible brain damage, but it can be harder for some people to get adequate amount of vitamin B12 in their diet. So risk for deficiency can include people who follow a vegan or vegetarian diet, people who have bariatric surgery. It means you know, the bypass of gastric bypass. It means shrink your stomach into smaller size to help you to lose weight. And also, those people who use the diabetes medication, metformin. So if you're on metformin, definitely your doctor must prescribe vitamin B12 for you. Otherwise, you know, you're suffering from B12 deficiency, which causes the nerve damage, irreversible nerve damage. And also, we all know that one of the complications of type 2 diabetes, including the type 1 diabetes, is nerve damage. So you will have double risk of the nerve damage. So this can kill you. And also for those people who use proton pump inhibitor medication, for those people who have too much stomach acid, also for those people who are beyond the age of 65. Okay, so food rich in vitamin B12, including organ meats, shellfish like clam, mussels, oyster, fish, tuna, salmon, sardines, mackerel, and red meat like beef, lamb, ground beef, poultry, chicken, turkey, dairy, milk, yogurt, cheese, eggs. You must eat the whole eggs because the egg yolk contains most B12, not the egg white. And also fortified food, nutritional yeast, breakfast cereals, and plant-based milks. So actually, you can see that normally you can't get vitamin B12 from the plant-based food. You must eat the animal sourced food to get e enough vitamin B12. Okay, to be very frank, vitamin B deficiencies rarely occur in isolation because B vitamins often work together and are found in similar food, like the meat, the eggs, the whole grains, the leafy greens. So a person deficient in one is often low in several. So since the signs and symptoms of a single vitamin B deficiency overlap with those of the other one, it's very difficult to tell which B vitamin deficiency one has. So we discuss vitamin B deficiency as a whole. However, the most common B vitamin deficiency worldwide is vitamin B12, followed by vitamin B9 and B6. So B12, B9, B6, they're generally deficient among those people. I'm going to list it here for you. So here is a breakdown of who tends to be deficient, grouped by the risk factors. So actually, they are also your targeted uh, customers. So if you want to know, I'm going to tell you which products rich in vitamin B complex. So you know that to whom you're supposed to recommend those products. Number one, older people, about 50, their stomach produces less hydrochloric acid, an intrinsic factor. This is a protein needs to absorb the B12. Sorry. Okay. And this is called atrophic gastritis. So, actually, up to 20% of older adults have low B12. They can't separate B12 from the protein in meat, so they can't absorb the free B12 efficiency. So this is, if you know somebody is above 50, like me, you got to really recommend B12. Actually, I'm taking the whole B complex Number two, vegans and strict vegetarians. We talk about, um, anybody who is on, you know, following vegans or strict vegetarians, they must take the food supplement that's supplementing the B vitamins. And also people with malabsorption disorders, celiac acid, Crohn's disease, chronic pancreatitis, or somebody who's on weight loss surgery, the gastric bypass. So normally they are in risk of vitamin B deficiency. And also people who drink alcohol heavily, alcohol interferes with B vitamin absorption, increase the urinary excretion, and heavy drinkers often have poor diets. So people who drink alcohol heavily, and definitely pregnant women and breastfeeding women, they need vitamins as a, storage for their fetus and also for the newborn babies. And people who are taking certain medicines, I'm going to show you, especially for those people on anti-diabetic medications and people with genetic mutations. Well, you have no other method but giving them the supplement. And people with kidney diseases who are on dialysis. So those people lose a lot of vitamins. So they need the supplementation of the B complexes. So now I'm going to give you a very detailed list. Risk groups for vitamin B deficiency. So this is going to help you to understand, who exactly lack of what vitamin B. But you don't have to really memorize this because this is too complicated. So you just understand, for those people, uh, risk groups. Sorry, you got to really mute yourself. You just remember the previous slide. Old people, vegans, people who are with malabsorption disorders, who drink alcohol, who are breastfeeding and pregnant women, or people who are on anti-diabetic medicine, or people who have genetic mutations or with kidney diseases, they need supplementing the vitamin B complex. So for older people, normally they lack vitamin B12. For vegans and people who are following vegan or strict vegetarian food, they normally have B12, B2, B3, B6 deficiency. And for people with celiac or Crohn's disease or who take the gastric bypass, normally they lack B12, B9, B6, B1. Or people who are heavy alcohol consumers, they are normally B1, B9, and B6 deficient. Pregnant women, B9 deficient. The metformin users for diabetes, B12 deficient. For PPI users, PPI is acid reflux medication. Normally they're B12 deficient. Methotrexate users, they are B9 deficient. And those people who have the gene mutation, B9 deficiency, those patients who are taking dialysis, B1, B6, B9, B12 deficient, and infants of B12 deficient mothers definitely have B12 deficiency. So those are the people who you're supposed to recommend uh, this product. Number one, among Greenwood products, multivitamin tablets and blueberry color fruit contains vitamin B12. Uh, Now, I want to give you a product combination for three specific diseases that require vitamin B12. The number one disease is called diabetic peripheral neuropathy. So actually, I want to give you this suggestion. If you know anybody who is having the high blood sugar level, whether it is diagnosed with type 2 diabetes or not, or pre-diabetes, you don't have to hesitate when you recommend the B complex products, including the blueberry color fruit or multivitamin tablets for adults. I know blueberry color fruit is available in some of the market. So if you don't have these products, you give them the multivitamin tablets and the spirulina. So diabetic peripheral neuropathy is common complication of diabetes. Its main cause is chronically high blood glucose levels, which damage the nerve, especially the peripheral nerves. So while strictly controlling blood sugar, adding the multivitamin tablets into your blood sugar lowering products package can enhance the nutrition and repair of peripheral nerves, leading to good therapeutic result. If blueberry color fruit is available in your market, you may take it together with the blood sugar lowering products. So this is for the number one disease. So either your clients have the diabetic peripheral neuropathy or not, you start to recommend this product to them because it is too late if they already develop the signs and symptoms because this kind of nerve diseases is irreversible. Irreversible means that once it is on, you cannot turn it back. You cannot turn it backward. Even if you give them a lot of products, it can improve, but it cannot cure at all. So remember that this is very important. Number two diseases is acute facial neuritis or Bell's palsy. Uh, Acute facial neuritis, commonly known as facial paralysis, or Bell's palsy is usually caused by a viral infection. It means that all of a sudden, early in the morning, when you get up, you feel that, part of your face, you feel nothing. Or, you actually have a twisted, complexion. So, if you press it, if you, you just you lose the feeling or you feel numbness or tingling of part of your face. So this is caused by viral infection. So what you can do is uh, blueberry color fruits, multivitamin tablets, and the A power. A power capsule has antiviral properties. A lot of people know that, A power is for HIV and AIDS, but it's not only for this particular virus. Actually, it is a broad spectrum antivirus products. So that is why at the beginning of the corona virus you know, pandemic, people start taking the A power capsule. So it is anti viral products. So since this facial paralysis is caused by viral infection, so you can recommend A power capsules plus the multivitamin tablets and the blueberry color fruit to promote the recovery of nerve functions in those with the facial paralysis caused by the condition. So this is the second disease. And the third disease is called the uh, hyperhomocysteine anemia. So actually, this means that in your bloodstream, you have too much the homocysteine. We call that your body produce the homocysteine, and it is a very dangerous substance. It can cause the atherosclerosis, the hardening of your blood vessels. So it is an independent risk factor for cardiovascular disease. Currently, clinical guidelines recommend taking it as seriously as hypertension, diabetes, and hyperlipidemia. So while most people with hyperhomocystinemia respond to folic acid alone, so adding vitamin B12 and B6 promotes the conversion of homocysteine in the body, thereby lowering the homocysteine levels more effectively. So if your blood homocysteine level is high, you must take the multivitamin tablets and blueberry color fruit. If you don't have this, spirulina is also a very good product. Okay, so the next disease is called neurogenic uh, tinnitus. So this means that, you feel that, uh, actually, you feel that you can hear some very funny sounds in your ear. So, these three products can help. The blueberry color fruit, the multivitamin tablets, and the ginkgo biloba capsule. Ginkgo biloba extract helps improve the neurogenic tinnitus by dilating the blood vessels of the inner ear and improving blood circulation. Vitamin B12 as a nerve nourishing agent not only accelerates the repair and functional recovery of degenerated or damaged inner ear nerve tissue, but also further nourish the inner ear nerves and improve the tinnitus symptoms. So you can recommend these three products. So, B vitamins may not seem as important as other vitamins because we know vitamin C, we know vitamin E, and uh, last in the previous section, we talk about vitamin K. So maybe you take vitamin B not as serious as other vitamins, but they are essential for life. Without them, your body couldn't produce energy, build DNA, maintain a healthy brain, or form red blood cells. A balanced diet rich in whole grains, lean meats, eggs, beans, green leafy vegetables, and fortified food will usually provide all the B vitamins you need. If you belong to one of the risk groups who are prone to vitamin B deficiency, you need to take the dietary supplement of Greenwood, including um, pregnant breastfeeding women, number one group. Number two group, vegans, vegetarians. Number three, people above 50 years. And also, people with, the gut diseases, gut disorders. They cannot, have gastric disorders and also intestinal disorders. They cannot absorb the vitamin Bs efficiently. And those people who are on anti-diabetic medication, and also people who have genetic problems, and people who have a special type of anemia. So they're all your target customers. So thank you very much for this. Let me see whether we have any questions about the vitamin B complex. So do we have any questions about the B complex? Or you can unmute yourself to interact with me. If there's no, I'm going to proceed into the next section. Any questions?
Madam, question, yes. Which vitamins did you say that are taken out of the 12 vitamins? Just as a reminder. Thank you.
Taken out of the Oh, okay. All right. I said that if you remember B1, B2, B3, B5, B6, B7, B9, B12. So actually you find that, there's no before B8, B11. So it means that when the scientists discovering those vitamins, they give them the names, but later on, they realize that they are not vitamins. They're not B vitamins. So now uh, you don't find them. So there are only eight B vitamins: B1, B2, B3, B5, B6, B7, B9, B12. Okay.
Thank you so much. And just one follow-up question. The B3 niacin, um, there are two forms, the one with the flushing and the one without. Now, if you have overdose of niacin, what are the complications?
Oh, if you're overdosing, you have, the flush, you have the numbness and tingling uh of the hands and feet. So, but don't worry, our products are not medication, are not drugs at all. You find the dose is a very, very safe. And by the way, we make it in a very safe range. And by the way, we recommend you to take those B vitamins from the natural food. So that is what we recommend you, the green leafy, the animal foods, dietary or, fortified food. So you don't have to worry if you take greenwood products, but if you're on medicine, then believe me, the doctor won't overdose you. So be careful, don't overdose yourself. B6 I
Thank,
mentioned. I mentioned the
thank you.
B6. Thank you so much. Okay, I mentioned B6. Actually, I can share this slide with you. Definitely we talk about B6. Uh, Maybe, due to whatever the reasons you skip this part. Let me see. Do we have vitamins which can help when somebody had itchy skin after showering? Oh, okay. So, itching skin after showering, uh, not necessarily could be the consequence of vitamin B deficiency. Um, when the water is too hot or when you use harsh detergent, the soap is a little bit too alkaline, because the pH of skin is slightly acidic. So if you use harsh soap, then definitely you can feel the itchy skin, and especially when the temperature goes a little bit lower and you use the hot water. I also have this, especially in winter time, after showering, because in wintertime, you can never shower yourself with the, mouth water. You use hot water. And after that, you feel, especially my legs. And then, on this case, I just wear lotions, the body lotions. It can help, definitely can help. And you can eat fruits, fresh fruits and vegetables. Okay, and then let's see. Um, what vitamins is ascorbic acid? It's vitamin C. Okay, vitamin C is ascorbic acid, which B that helps with high blood pressure. Thank you. Actually, in general, let us put it this way.
Madam,
Uh, we don't
excuse me,
differentiate.
Madam Rain.
Yes, yes.
Excuse me, I've raised my hand
Oh, okay. Go
longer.
ahead, please. Okay.
Yeah. I heard you talking about conditions whereby vitamin B is not well absorbed. I heard you talk about gastritis. Are there any other conditions that you talked about that are not
Um,
easily absorbing vitamin B?
a gastric who has low gastric acid and who has a
Mm,
malabsorption disease, like the
mm,
celiac disease, the Crohn disease. That means your intestine doesn't work properly. So those people,
mm.
irritable bowel syndrome, those people tend not to absorb vitamin effectively.
So what can be done then?
Sorry?
What can be done if maybe one cannot take that vitamin B
Give them the
if maybe
dietary
symptoms?
supplement, give them the products, especially the blueberry colored fruits or tablets, and the multivitamin tablets or the spirulina, depending on their age. So give them the supplements and give them suggestion to eat the food rich in B vitamins, like the green leafy, the a little bit beef liver, and also red meat. Uh, of
Mm,
course, not so frequently. Fish, especially the sea fish, and also lean meat like the beef. This is
mm,
also very good source of B complex.
mm. Oh wow. Okay, thank you.
Okay, you don't have to worry. I'm going to share the slide with you when we close today's presentation. I just send this to you so you can download from yourself. Okay, no problem.
Okay, thank you. Thank
So
you.
welcome. So which vitamins to use for 9-year-old child who has started to develop vertigo? This is also a genetic problem. So, all vitamins that you can recommend, C and B complex, and then in this case, 9-year-olds, the best products is blueberry juice, high BC, and also, blueberry color fruit is a very good products for children. Also, we have the multivitamin tablets for children. So these three products are very good for 9-year-old child. Okay, now let's start sharing the other ones. Sorry, I got to mute you. And the next one we're going to talk about is the how to integrate the anti-inflammatory food into your diet. This is a very, very interesting and important topics to you. So it is actually a higher level. For vitamin B, this is essential. So if you lack vitamin B, you got to have a lot of problems. But the anti-inflammatory food is a higher level of nutritional status, because if you want to stay young and healthy and try to minimize the risk of most of the chronic diseases like chronic fatigue, type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, dementia, obesity, diabetes, even cancer, you need to definitely make sure that every meal in your plate, there's some anti-inflammatory food. Okay, so let us start. Can you see my screen? Yes or no? One, you type one. One or zero? One for yes, zero for no. Let me see. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Warner. Okay. Now you can see it. Yes, thank you. Now you can see it. All right. Okay, so once again, now we got to talk about the second topic, because aging and disease are the two greatest concerns in our life, and both stem from the same underlying cause, chronic inflammation. So today, let's explore where chronic inflammation comes from and how you can manage it simply by changing what you eat. First of all, let's understand the inflammation or acute inflammation. So when you hear the word inflammation, what image comes into your mind? Traditionally, inflammation has four main characteristics: uh, redness, swelling, heat, and pain, tenderness, or sometimes itching. So if you notice a part of your body becomes red, swollen, warm to be touched, and painful, it's very likely inflamed. So why does this happen? Because your body recognizes substances uh, that which is foreign, and then they start reject it and attack it. For example, like the mosquito saliva. So when a mosquito bites you, so immediately you feel that you have a small bump, itchy and a little bit painful and red. So because the body start attacking the substances in the mosquito saliva as foreign invaders. So it launches an inflammatory response to expel them. So here is a familiar example. Uh, when your arm gets bitten by a mosquito, almost immediately, the areas becomes red and swollen and feels firm and your fingers. So the itching might be more intense than the pain, but this is still a classic inflammatory response. And here's another example you probably experience yourself after a long day of activity, working more than usual or trying an unfamiliar workout. Or, the first time you swim after several weeks, several months, or even several years without working out, you wake up the next day with muscle soreness. That soreness is also a form of inflammation. In the past, people blamed the lactic acid buildup in the muscles, but recent studies have confirmed that what you're really feeling is an inflammatory response. So why does muscle soreness appear the day after the exercise? So intense activity causes the microscopic damage to your muscle fibers and the surrounding tissues. So your body responds by initiating an inflammatory response to repair the damage. So pain is simply a side effect of the healing process. So actually, when you are starting building muscles, it means that you somehow breaks down some of the muscle fibers and tissues, and then you grow them back and grow more. You break down some and you grow more. So this is how you build muscles. So other everyday example, including a sore throat when you have a cold, or the swelling and pain from a sprain or bruise. So in all these cases, inflammation shows up with its classic signs: redness, swelling, tenderness, heat. So, but here is good news. In these acute situations, the symptoms usually subside after a while and the affected area heals completely. That's how inflammation works in the short term. But what happens when it doesn't go away? That's where chronic inflammation begins. And that's what we'll talk about next, the chronic inflammation. So let's see the acute inflammation versus chronic inflammation. Inflammation isn't always a bad thing. In most cases, it's the body's protective immune response. Apart from the acute inflammation we just mentioned, there is another type of inflammation that doesn't present obvious symptoms like the redness, the swelling, the heat or pain. You don't really feel, but persist over time and continuously affect the body. So this is the chronic inflammation. Here is how to distinguish between acute and chronic inflammation. Acute inflammation appears suddenly and subsides quickly, while chronic inflammation doesn't show immediate symptoms and can have a long-lasting effect. So some chronic inflammation develops from unresolved acute inflammation, while others are caused by mild inflammation that wasn't properly treated, worsening over time. So in the early stages, chronic inflammation often doesn't cause discomfort, which seems like a good thing. But because it's not easily detectable, it often becomes more difficult to manage when the situation worsens. If we compare acute inflammation to a sudden and fierce fire that burns out quickly, chronic inflammation is more like a constant smoldering ember. Just as a small spark can ignite a massive forest fire, chronic inflammation can escalate in the same way. So to me, actually, chronic inflammation is more dangerous than the acute one. So, okay, the arterial sclerosis or atherosclerosis, more or less, they are the same in this condition. So whether it is atherosclerosis, cancer, depression, Alzheimer's, diabetes, or atopic dermatitis, actually, these diseases are almost all linked to chronic inflammation. So first of all, let's talk about the atherosclerosis and chronic inflammation. So atherosclerosis is not just a cholesterol disease. It's fundamentally a chronic inflammation disease of the artery walls. So atherosclerosis is the build-up of fatty deposit plaque inside your arteries. So over time, these plaques harden and narrow the arteries, restricting blood flow. So this can lead to heart attacks, strokes, or peripheral artery disease. So people with high blood pressure, high blood sugar, and excess low-density lipoprotein cholesterol are at higher risk of atherosclerosis. So recent research suggests that atherosclerosis is essentially a prolonged inflammatory state in the blood vessel walls. So chronic inflammation is the true cause of the atherosclerosis. So now, normally, it develops in different phases or stages. If you check the online, normally they say 4 stages. I put stage 5 because there's a very severe, dangerous case that is plaque rupture. Phase number 1, damage to the endothelial cell of the blood vessels. So the risk factors like the high blood pressure, high blood sugar, smoking or circulation, inflammatory cytokines from the chronic inflammation elsewhere in the body damage the inner lining of the arteries. So very possibly if you have chronic inflammation in other part of the body, let me give you this sample. If you have obesity, then it is a chronic inflammatory status. And those chemicals will actually damage the endothelial cell of your blood vessels. So very possibly you will develop the atherosclerosis. And then phase 2, the injured endothelium attracts immune cells, especially the monocytes, to the site. Then you go to stage 3, the foam cell formation, because the monocyte enter the artery wall, turn into macrophages, and engulf the oxidized LDL cholesterol. They become foam cells, the hallmark of early atherosclerosis. Stage 4, plaque growth. The foam cells accumulate, releasing more inflammatory signals, attracting more immune cells and causing smooth muscle cells to proliferate. A fatty, inflamed plaque grows. So the last and most dangerous stage is plaque rupture. In chronic inflammation, the plaque becomes unstable. A thin cap may rupture, exposing the contents to the blood. So a blood clot forms, which can suddenly block the arteries, causing a heart attack or a stroke. So controlling chronic inflammation through diet, exercise, stress management, and treating underlying conditions like diabetes or autoimmune disease is not just good for your joints or for your blood sugar. It may save your arteries. So this is the number 1 chronic disease. Number 2 chronic disease is cancer and chronic inflammation. Chronic inflammation can create a cellular environment that promotes the initiation, growth, and spread of cancer. Now, the two-way connection. The relationship between inflammation and cancer is a two-way street. So the chronic inflammation can cause cancer, and cancer can cause chronic inflammation. So today we'll focus on the first direction, how pre-existing chronic inflammation drives the development of cancer. So as early as 1863, the pathologist Rudolf Virchow observed immune cells present in cancerous tissue. So he proposed that cancer arises at the site of chronic inflammation. So today we know he was right. So how chronic inflammation promotes cancer? Number A, through DNA damage. So inflammatory cells like the macrophages, the neutrophils, release the reactive oxygen species. This is a kind of oxidative, free radicals and reactive nitrogen species, two kind of free radicals. So these molecules directly damage DNA, causing mutation that can turn normal cells into cancer cells. The second is uncontrolled cell proliferation. The inflammatory cytokines signal cells to divide and multiply out of control. So in a chronic inflammatory environment, this growth signaling becomes persistent and uncontrolled, promoting tumor formation. Number 3, inhibition of cell death. So inflammation activates survival pathways that prevent damaged or abnormal cells from dying. Normally, the body would eliminate these dangerous cells, but chronic inflammation keeps them alive, allowing them to accumulate further mutations. Number 4, angiogenesis. It means the new blood vessel growth. Inflammatory cells produce growth factors that stimulate the formation of new blood vessels. So these blood vessels feed the growing cancerous cells with oxygen and nutrients, allowing to expand beyond a small size. Number 5, suppression of anti-tumor immunity. Chronic inflammation can recruit regulatory immune cells that suppress the body's natural ability to recognize and kill cancer cells. So the immune system becomes tolerant of the tumor. Number 6, metastasis or spread of the cancer cells. So inflammatory signals help the cancer cells break away from the original tumor, invade surrounding tissues, and travel through the blood or lymph vessels to form new tumors in distant organs. So this is the most dangerous and very possibly the late stage of cancer, spread of the cancer. Okay, the next one is a brain disease and chronic inflammation. So chronic inflammation in the body or brain can disrupt normal brain function, damage neurons, and contribute to the development of neurodegenerative and psychiatric diseases. First of all, I want you to know that the brain is not immune isolated. For a long time, scientists believe the brain is immune privileged, separate from the rest of the body's immune system. Today, we know that it is not true. The brain has its own immune cells called the microglia, and it constantly communicates with the body's systemic immune system. The chronic inflammation anywhere in the body can affect the brain. Number 2, two sources of brain inflammation. Number 1, through systemic inflammation. The chronic inflammation in the body, for example, from obesity, diabetes, the gut issue, autoimmune disease, release the inflammatory cytokines. Sorry? Okay, sorry. Make sure that you're muted. Now, let me repeat. When you have a chronic inflammation like diabetes, obesity, or, autoimmune disease, you can release the inflammatory cytokines that can cross the blood-brain barrier or signal to the brain via the vagus nerve. And also, you also have the local brain inflammation. The microglia become chronically activated due to aging, injury, infections, toxins, or protein aggregates. So in both cases, the result is chronic neuroinflammation, persistent inflammation within your brain tissues. So how does the chronic inflammation damage the brain? Number 1, through the microglia activation. So microglia are the brain's resident immune cells. In chronic inflammation, they become overactive and release the inflammatory cytokines and the free radicals. So this creates a toxic environment for your neurons. Number 2, impaired synaptic function. So inflammatory cytokines interfere with the synaptic plasticity, so the brain's ability to strengthen or weaken the connections between your neurons. So this affects learning, memory, and mood regulation. Number 3, neuronal death. Prolonged exposure to inflammatory mediators triggers the apoptosis, the programmed cell death in neurons. So unlike many other cells, adult neurons have very limited ability to regenerate. So if your neuron death, so many new neurons can replace the old ones. So you start having the cognitive degeneration. Number four, disrupted neurotransmitter system. Inflammation affects the production and function of the key neurotransmitters, like the serotonin, which controls your mood, dopamine, which is a rewarding neurotransmitters, and glutamate give you the excitation. So this contributes to depression, anxiety, and cognitive decline. Number five, the blood-brain barrier breakdown. So chronic inflammation weakens the blood-brain barrier, making it leaky. So harmful substance from the bloodstream can then enter the brain, amplifying the neuroinflammation. Number six, reduced neurogenesis. Um, Inflammation inhibits the birth of new neurons in the hippocampus, a brain region critical for memory and mood. So this contributes to cognitive decline and depression. So when we think of brain disease, we often focus on genetics or protein aggregates like the amyloid plaques. But chronic inflammation is the fuel on the fire. It doesn't always start the disease, but it accelerates it. So the good news is that inflammation is modifiable by controlling the chronic inflammation through anti-inflammatory diet, regular exercise, stress management, quality sleep, and treating underlying inflammatory conditions. You're not just protecting your heart and joints, you're protecting your brain. Okay, so what situation can trigger chronic inflammation? In fact, there are many triggers in our daily lives, such as diets, exercise habits, stress, and smoking. Overeating or lack of exercise can lead to weight gain, which in turn triggers the chronic inflammation. So the more overweight a person is, the more severe the chronic inflammation tends to be. So this is because fat tissue in obese individuals secrete more pro-inflammatory cytokines. In contrast, the fat tissue of people with normal weight secretes more anti-inflammatory cytokines. Additionally, the fat tissue in obese individuals is often a hypoxic state. So this happens because as fat cells increase in size and the crowded fat tissues slows down blood flow, leading to local oxygen deprivation, oxidative stress, and eventually chronic inflammation. Another cause of ongoing internal inflammation is conditions like inflammatory bowel disease, such as Crohn's disease. Even though there are no bacteria or viruses in the body, the immune system mistakenly attacks the healthy cells, leading to inflammation. Stress, overeating, lack of sleep, and other factors can also cause inflammation in the intestines. So if it left untreated, it can evolve into chronic inflammation. So the danger of chronic intestinal inflammation is that around 70% of the immune cells in the body are concentrated in the intestines. Therefore, once the intestines are affected, it may severely impact immune functions and even leads to allergies or, in severe cases, colorectal cancer. Finally, aging is also a contributing factor to chronic inflammation. The cells that make up the body have a lifespan. While many cells divide and multiply on their own, there is a limit of how many times they can divide, normally about 50 to 60 times. So the process of a cell reaching its division limit is known as cellular aging. It's important to know that this senescent cells don't die immediately. They remain in place for some time. So during this period, the surrounding senescent cells secrete a large amount of substances that promote inflammation. What's worse is that when one cell ages, it acts as a catalyst, causing nearby cells to age in sync, thereby further expanding the area of inflammation and trigger various diseases. And then autoimmune diseases definitely, one of the causes of, the chronic inflammation. So speaking of aging, you might associate it with oxidation. Perhaps many of you already know that the key to anti-aging is antioxidation. So since both antioxidant and anti-inflammation are related to the aging process of the body, so which one is more important? The answer is both are equally important. Anti-inflammation is actually a form of antioxidation. So oxidation is a chemical reaction that occurs when a substance combines with oxygen. For example, an apple with its skin removed will turn brown after being exposed to air for a while due to oxidation. So similarly, human cells undergo changes and age due to oxidation. So some of the oxygen we breathe in undergoes a chemical transformation inside the body, turning into reactive oxygen species, which are much stronger oxidizing ability. So this powerful oxidation is the weapon used by immune cells to fight off the invading pathogens. Therefore, the body needs a certain level of ROS for self-defense. However, the ROS level become too high, they can cause damage to cells. Fortunately, the body also has the ability to suppress excess ROS, which is known as antioxidant ability. So the most representative of this antioxidant is superoxide dismutase, the SOD, which can remove the excess ROS or neutralize their toxicity. So our body naturally produces SOD. So under normal conditions, even if ROS levels increase, it usually won't cause problem. However, when ROS are produced in excess due to factors like inflammation, stress, or prolonged exposure to UV rays, or when the body's antioxidant capacity decreases with age, so the body can no longer handle the excessive oxidative stress. As a result, ROS starts to attack cells throughout the body, leading to oxidative stress. Oxidative stress causes damage to cells within the body, and these damaged cells are the very ones the body aims to eliminate, triggering an inflammatory response. So additionally, when inflammation occurs, ROS are generated, which in turn disrupt the body's immune mechanisms that protect against the harmful bacteria. So the longer inflammation lasts, the higher the level of ROS in the body. So this means that inflammation and oxidation occur almost simultaneously, creating a vicious cycle that continually worsens. Therefore, to maintain good health, we need to focus on antioxidant and anti-inflammation. So the most widely recognized anti-inflammatory nutrients are EPA and DHA. EPA is beneficial for vascular health, while DHA is beneficial for brain health. Both EPA and DHA are outstanding in suppressing inflammation. So they can both indirectly prevent the production of inflammation and directly transform into mediators that suppress inflammation. Therefore, it is recommended to you to eat more fish, or you can simply take greenwood deep sea fish oil capsule, which contains EPA and DHA. Blueberries are widely known for their powerful anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties, making them a popular choice in the fight against inflammation. So blueberries are rich in antioxidants, particularly anthocyanins, vitamin C, vitamin E, and phenolic compounds. So all of which contributes to the body's ability to neutralize the free radicals and combat the oxidative damage. These antioxidants in blueberries don't just neutralize free radicals, they can also help reduce inflammation by inhibiting the production of inflammatory molecules such as cytokines and prostaglandins, which play a role in the inflammatory process. So blueberry juice high VC is rich in antioxidant, and daily consumption helps fight chronic inflammation. One sachet or two sachets will definitely help you to fight against the chronic inflammation. Here, as we mentioned earlier, obesity, especially abdominal obesity, is mostly like to trigger the inflammation in the body. So, for overweight and obese individuals, weight loss is the most effective anti-inflammatory medicine. Meanwhile, maintaining healthy habits is an essential part of anti-inflammatory lifestyle for everyone. So number one, cut consumptions of sweet and fried food. This food contains trans fat, which the body doesn't need if consumed in excess. Trans fat can lead to obesity, diabetes, and even cardiovascular diseases. So when purchasing packaged food, instant food, puffed snacks, pastries, or baked goods, always check the ingredients. If you see terms like artificial butter, shortening, processed fat, or hydrogenated vegetable oil, it means the product contains trans fat. Not all carbohydrates are created equal. Some carbohydrate sources provide little more than empty calories, energy without meaningful nutrition. So take refined white rice and white flour, for example. They have been highly processed, and during that processing, most of their dietary fibers is lost. Then there are refined carbohydrates like dessert, high sugar drinks, and other sweets. So these foods are loaded with added sugar. Here is the problem. This low quality carbohydrates can actually worsen inflammation in the body, and that leads to a dangerous chain reaction, increased inflammation. So higher risk of obesity and greater risk of chronic disease like diabetes and heart disease. So the takeaway is simple. Choose your carbohydrates wisely. Limit refined grains and sugary food. Number two, regular exercise can effectively reduce fat accumulation and combat inflammation. Exercise stimulates the muscle to release the anti-inflammatory cytokines, improve the blood circulation, release the nitric oxide, and suppresses inflammation in the blood vessel walls. So exercise at least 30 minutes per day, 5 days per week. Preferably the aerobic exercise plus the anti some exercise that can help you to build muscles, and also quit smoking and avoid secondhand smoke. The smoke produced by burning cigarette can cause inflammation in the bronchial tubes, and when inhaled, can spread throughout the body, increase the amount of reactive oxygen species, and triggering oxidative stress. And try stress management. Excessive stress can trigger inflammation. So emotions like anger and anxiety activate the sympathetic nerve system and put pressure on blood vessels, equivalent to smoking 3 cigarettes at once. So sources of stress can come from relationships, work, family. Since stress cannot be eliminated, so we should learn to cope with it, accept it, and face it, because the mind and body are connected. Moderate exercises like walking or yoga or meditation can help relieve stress and make you feel more relaxed. Develop your habit. So whenever I'm under stress and feel I'm not in a good mood, the first thing I can do is to listen to the music that I love. And I think within 5 minutes, I calm down and I'm in a good mood. So find your way to manage your stress. And also, I have already eliminated all the pro-inflammatory food, including the refined carbohydrates, sweets, pastries, cakes, the refined carbohydrates. I removed all of them from my diet. Okay, now let's talk about food we should eat as anti-inflammatory agent. We talk about food we are not supposed to eat, or we're supposed to eliminate it from our diet. Now let's talk about what food we are supposed to eat. First, fruits and veggies. Fruits and fresh veggies belong to the category of anti-inflammatory food. And interestingly, their recommended daily intake is also the largest among all food groups. Specifically, about 500 grams or 1 pound of vegetables and 250 grams or half pounds of fruits per day. This is the foundation of your anti-inflammatory diet. Without this, don't talk about anti-inflammatory lifestyle. Why are fresh fruits and vegetables so powerful? Because they're rich in vitamins and dietary fiber. And most importantly, antioxidants such as polyphenols, flavonoids, and catechins. These natural compounds work by suppressing the products of inflammatory mediators, the chemical signals that drive inflammation in the body. As a result, they help reduce the body's overall inflammatory response. So recent research published in the leading journal have revealed even more good news. Fruits that are rich in flavonoids, such as blueberries, strawberries, and mulberries, blackberries, can significantly lower the risk of several major chronic diseases. This includes diabetes, cardiovascular diseases, even dementia. So the message is simple but powerful. Fill your plate with a rainbow of fresh fruits and vegetables every day. They form the foundation of anti-inflammatory diet. Next, whole grains. Let's move to the second layer of the bottom of the anti-inflammatory food pyramid, whole grains and coarse grains. Well, whole grains. So this category includes foods like brown rice, other whole grains, and tubers such as potatoes and sweet potatoes. The recommended daily intake is 200 to 300 grams of whole grains and 50 to 100 grams of tubers. So why are they so important? The carbohydrates in this food are the body's largest source of energy, but whole grains do much more than just provide energy. They contain unique active components. One key example is dietary fiber, especially beta-glucan and resistant starch. So when these fibers are broken down by your gut microbes, they produce short-chain fatty acid. This fatty acid has two powerful effects. They directly fight inflammation. They improve the gut environment, which in turn helps lower overall inflammation levels in the body. Well, whole grain also contain other beneficial compounds, such as polyphenols and phytosteroids. So these substances help suppress chronic low-grade inflammation as well. So remember, whole grains and coarse grains are not just filler on your plate. They're a key source of energy and a powerful tool for controlling chronic inflammation, starting from your gut. Number 3, plant proteins and animal proteins. Now let's move up to the third layer from the bottom of the anti-inflammatory food pyramid, protein. The recommended daily intake for protein is smaller than that of grains, fruits, and vegetables. In fact, protein itself has a mild pro-inflammatory effect. So for animal-based food, the recommended daily amount is only 120 to 200 grams. However, not all protein sources are the same. Different protein sources have different effect on inflammation. Some are pro-inflammatory, others are anti-inflammatory. So let's start with the worst offenders. Processed meat, such as sausages, bacon, and ham, are classic pro-inflammatory foods. They contain harmful substances like N-nitrosyl compounds and polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons. So these chemicals have a strong pro-inflammatory effect. It's best to avoid them altogether. So from today on, remember that eliminate the processed meat, including the bacons, hams, sausages, but unfortunately they're all tasty. So next, the red meat. Red meat contains a significant amount of saturated fat, which can also trigger inflammation. However, red meat is also very high in nutritional value. It provides important vitamins and minerals, so the advice is not to avoid it completely, but to eat it in a small amount, once in a week. Like pork, beef, muttons, once in a week is pretty good enough. On the other hand, some animal-based proteins are actually anti-inflammatory. This includes poultry, chicken, turkey, eggs, and low-fat dairy products. So these are considered good source of anti-inflammatory protein. Better, even something better, fish and seafood. Not only are they rich in high-quality protein, but they also contain omega-3 fatty acid, EHA, DHA, and EPA, which are well known for their anti-inflammatory properties. Finally, let's talk about plant-based proteins, soy and soy products such as tofu, soy milk, and other natto are plant proteins, but their nutritional value is comparable to that of beef or other red meats. At the same time, soy products are low in fat and rich in beneficial compounds like soy isoflavones. As a result, they have an even stronger anti-inflammatory effect. So let me summarize the protein hierarchy for you. I summarize everything in this table. The food you're supposed to avoid, processed meat, because they are strongly pro-inflammatory. And the meat, the red meat that you're supposed to limit, but you can eat once in a week. They are mildly pro-inflammatory, but highly nutritious, like beef, pork, mutton. Something good is poultry, eggs, low-fat dairy that you can eat every day. They're anti-inflammatory, but don't over eat. And something even better, fish and seafood, anti-inflammatory, plus omega-3. You can eat 2 times, 3 times in a week. The best is soy and soy products, strongly anti-inflammatory, which I eat every day. I buy all different kind of beans. The soybeans is the basic, plus the dried peas and the black beans and the kidney beans. So I soak the beans in the evening. After the whole night, I throw the water, and then tomorrow I use my food processor to make my own soy milk, and it is highly nutritional, and also it is very tasty. So the message is clear. You don't need a lot of protein. 120 to 200 grams per day is enough, but choosing the right sources makes all the difference. Prioritize fish, seafood, poultry, eggs, low-fat dairy, and especially soy. So if you how to say, because we Asian people, we were born with soy and soy milk and soy food like tofu. Every 2 or 3 days, I buy a piece of tofu for myself. We cook it in different way. We can stir fry the tofu with the vegetables, or we can stew the tofu with chili peppers or with curry and leeks or onions. And also we eat hot pot tofu. It means that we boil the tofu and we put the soy sauce and other kind of sauce to eat. So there's millions of ways to cook tofu. So this is how we make ourselves to stay young and fight against the chronic inflammation. So find your way. If you don't eat tofu, because I know in African markets it's not very easy to buy tofu. You can eat beans. I know that in Africa you like the beans. I know the ways you cook beans. You cook the beans with some onions and also some peppers, and you eat this with your major food. This is very, very healthy. And also there's another way that the red beans, we also use the pressure cook to cook the red beans and put a little bit brown sugar. Well, for me, I never put any sugar. For me, I just eat it like that. But for you, if you don't have any high blood sugar problems, that you can put a little bit of sugar, and it's also very tasty. Your children will love it. And also the next one, the anti-inflammatory food, nuts and seed. Now let's talk about nuts and seed. Research shows that nuts and seeds are indeed anti-inflammatory food. They're rich in unsaturated fatty acid, vitamin, and dietary fiber. So all these components help fight inflammation. However, here is an important reminder. Not all seeds are anti-inflammatory. In the daily diet of Africans, the main source of fat is cooking oil. But commonly used oils such as sunflower oil, peanut oil, corn oil, even other type of oil, they all contain high amounts of omega-6 fatty acid. So when consumed in excess, omega-6 fatty acid can actually induce the body to produce pro-inflammatory substances. So the advice is use these oils in moderation or alternate them with healthier options like the olive oil and the flaxseed oil. But the problem is olive oil and flaxseed oil, they are not tolerant to high temperature. So still you cannot fry food with olive oil or flaxseed oil. You can use these oils for the salad. This is very good oil for salad. The daily limit for all cooking oil is no more than 25 to 30 grams. Now, what about nuts? Nuts are high in calories, so portion control is important. The recommended intake is about 70 grams per week, which equals roughly 10 grams per day. So what does 10 grams of nuts look like? That's approximately 10 hazelnuts or 7 to 8 almonds or pistachios or 2 to 3 pecans or walnut. So actually, now I develop a habit that in the evening, for dinner, the first thing I eat is 3 walnuts or a small handful of nuts and 3 pecans. So, and then after that, I eat the vegetables. And after vegetables, I eat my proteins. So about the amount that fills 2 standard bottle water caps. So here's the takeaway. Nuts and seeds are powerful anti-inflammatory food. When chosen wisely and eaten in the right amount, watch your cooking oils. Alternate between different types and enjoy a small handful of nuts and seeds every day. That's a simple, delicious way to fight chronic inflammation. I also have the flaxseed. I bought another kind of grinder because flaxseed is good, but the point is if you eat it raw without grinding it, you cannot break the cells. So you only absorb very, very limited omega-3 unless you grind it. So now I just bought me a grinder. It is there. I'm going to open it tomorrow morning, and I grind the flaxseed and mix the flaxseed with my morning breakfast cereal. Okay, so let's bring everything together. We've learned that chronic inflammation is a common root cause behind many of today's most concerning health problems, including heart disease, diabetes, dementia, and even cancer. But here is the empowering truth. What you eat every day can either fuel that inflammation or fight it. So an anti-inflammatory diet is not complicated. It simply means fill your plate with plenty of fresh vegetables and fruits. They form the foundation. And whole grains and core grains for energy and gut healthy fiber. Choose high quality proteins like poultry, eggs, low fat dairy, fish, seafood, and especially soy. Enjoy nuts and seeds in a small, regular portions and be mindful of cooking oils. Limit omega-6 rich oils and alternate with olive or flaxseed oil. At the same time, limit or avoid the pro-inflammatory culprits like processed meat, sugary drinks and dessert, refined white rice and white flour, and excessive red meat. So the science is clear. Chronic inflammation is not your destiny. It's something you can influence. So start with your very next meal. We eat to nourish, eat to protect, and eat to live well. Now, okay, I'm going to use 3 minutes to share with my currently lifestyle. So actually, I think I shared with a lot of you that I'm carrying very bad genes from both my mother's family and my father's side. You know, my grandpa from my mother's side died of stroke. And my grandma from my father's side died of type 2 diabetes. So I'm carrying all these bad genes. And by the way, you know me, I'm overweight, since 30 years or 35 years, my body weight is gradually and steadily growing year by year. So, I'm facing a big health challenge, which is pre-diabetes. I check my blood sugar level. Fasting sugar level is 6. Actually one is 6.1, 6.2. So if it's beyond that, I'm very close to the type 2 diabetes. So I started 2 months ago after I came back from West Africa. I started completely change of my lifestyle. I continue swimming 15 minutes every day, uh 4 to 5 times every week. So I've been doing this for almost 1 year, which done me a very good. Actually I lose weight, and then I have a stronger immune system. So for almost 1 year, I didn't have any cold or flu. But before that, every year I could have 3 times of flu. So this is number one. Number two, about the diet. I completely remove all the refined carbohydrates from my diet. No more pastry, biscuits, cakes, sweets, even no refined rice and refined sugar or bread, nothing. So like 50 grams of fresh vegetables, 250 grams of fruits, 2 type of fruits every day, either apple and orange or something else. And then when I snack, I'm still snacking. So when I snack, I totally change into nuts. Now here in front of me, there's pecans and walnuts. And then I prioritize the orders of eating the food. So when you eat food, you have orders. Number one, you eat vegetables. Number two, eat proteins. After that, eat your carbohydrates. If you eat carbohydrates first, then immediately that food will be absorbed in your intestines, and it could triggers the blood, sugar spike. So eat vegetables first, and then, proteins, and then the carbohydrates. So, after doing this, I think I'm good. And, but still the stress is there. For example, like, now I'm doing the, training even after the whole day's work. And now it is 3 o'clock, 3 a.m. Definitely I cannot just fall asleep immediately. So I must give my brain and body maybe half an hour or 1 hour before I fall asleep. So basically 4 o'clock I fall asleep. And then by 7 o'clock or maximum 8 o'clock, I get up again for only 4 hours sleeping. So I know this is one kind of a stress. So early tomorrow morning, the breakfast, I'm going to shift it into the soy milk, the fruits, and boiled eggs. So no any food which triggers my chronic inflammation. So by doing this, I think, when we meet in Canada or Uganda or in China, you're going to see that I'm healthier than before. So this is my personal experience. So do you have any questions? And believe me, it does a lot of good to me. Okay, you want the PPT. Okay, no problem. I'm going to start sharing this with you. Can the detox tea effectively remove inflammation? Definitely, definitely. I'm not including the tea is because I know that in Africa the herbal tea account for over 50% of the total revenue. So actually, you know the teas better than me. Definitely, you can integrate cooling tea, boson pear tea, intestine cleansing tea, whatever. Okay, overeating plus lack of exercise plus obesity plus lack of long sleep plus aging. Yes, you're absolutely right. What products and how to fight oxidation in the body? Hey, blueberry products, spirulina, full of antioxidants, and how to stay young. I told you, exercise plus diet plus wonderful products. And the best products I love is this, I always put it in my reach. It is the blueberry juice high BC. This is my favorite. In China, I can get the bottled one. That is also my favorite. So I take the bottled one. It is there. Let one bottle of blueberry juice, and when I'm traveling, I'm taking this blueberry products. Okay, so thank you. I think I'm going to start sharing the information with you. So do we have any more questions, or somebody wants to interact, or somebody wants to share with us? If no, I'm going to start sharing the slide with you. Okay, just give me one moment. Okay, I'm sending the first one. Now let me send the second one. Okay, now you can receive it. I'm sending the second one. How to take blueberry concentrate? Oh, blueberry concentrate is 50 ml. It is a how to say? It's a queen of the blueberry products. Because number one, it is the most expensive one, and number two, it is a highly concentrate. So one bottle, 50 mils of blueberry concentrate, equivalent to approximately 200 to 300 grams of fresh blueberry. So we extract it and make it highly concentrated. So you just drink it, finish it in one dose. If you open it, don't leave it too long. You must finish it as soon as you can. Otherwise, if you expose it to the air, it will react with oxygen in the air and lose some of the antioxidative properties. Because anyway, we take these products for antioxidative properties. Okay, then anything else you want to talk to me? Oh, pleasure. Actually, what is the best combination for arthritis on the knees? Hey, we have the Astro Power or Joint Health capsules. And also, we have, it depends on what's the course. So if it is the osteoarthritis, it means that due to wear and tear, due to the aging, you can recommend compound marrow powder or the compound calcium products, plus the joint health or the astral power. If it is pain, you can also recommend the omega-3 deep sea fish oil. And then to fight the body odor, okay, detoxification and personal hygiene, have a bath, take a bath. We have two soaps. We have a tourmaline soaps and olive soap. We just have send you the videos, the small videos to the groups. So use this, especially tourmaline soap is very good for killing the bacteria. And then after that, give your body a detox. You can use the chitosan. You can use the ink cleansing tea, even the changjingjing, a solid beverage to detox yourself. And use the soap to bath every day. Okay, and then do you take one bottle every day? Okay. To be very frank, I take it sometimes. The blueberry concentrate is very expensive. So, that is why I prefer, my favorite is very affordable one, like this blueberry juice, IBC, and the bottled one. So I take this every day. One sachet is quite good enough. Please, you check the slide. Uh, it is being sent. It's being sent. One is sent already. The integrate anti-inflammatory food is sent, and the other one, the vitamin B, is being sent. So after I'm going to leave it open. Even after I close the meeting, I'm going to leave it open for a while so you can still download. Chronic constipation. Hey, you have Changjingjing, solid beverage, you have intestinal cleansing tea, you have chitosan. But when you take chitosan, remember to drink adequate amount of water. And you have aloe vera plus. They're all good for chronic constipation. Even the spirulina does a wonderful job for this. Okay, so please, you Galaxy, you raise your hand. Please mute yourself and mute yourself. Go ahead.
So I just want to find out because I'm interested in this blueberry concentrate.
Okay.
Is it okay to take one bottle every week or to finish because it's only 12 bottles in the container?
To be very frank, for this kind of antioxidant, anti-inflammatory food, you are supposed to take on a daily basis. So that is why I said, I would rather take an blueberry juice on a daily basis rather than taking the blueberry concentrate once in a week because this a highly water soluble substance. So after you metabolize, you actually excrete it through your body. So that is why you would rather take this on a daily basis. But I know blueberry concentrate is more expensive. So most of the time you can't take on a daily basis. So you can take it on a weekly basis, no problem. But you need another blueberry product or another antioxidant products that you can take on a daily basis. You can choose blueberry super nutrition or blueberry juice, or even if you use blueberry enzyme, we have blueberry enzyme, any blueberry products. And also, spirulina is very good antioxidant. uh, the cytokines, the blue-green pigment, is also powerful antioxidant. That definitely you can take. I'm taking the spirulina, but not too many. I take only 2 capsules because I'm taking spirulina, I'm taking the coenzyme Q10, I'm taking the blueberry. So I don't go to the high dose. I go to the very low dose. I'm taking the combination. Any more questions? Okay, no more questions. I'm going to close today's section. So thank you so much for being with us. And we see you next Friday. We know that, there's a great event is on in Madagascar. So many leaders in South Africa and in the neighboring countries are there. And Dr. Deming Lee and Mr. David Zhang and Mr. Bruce Huang, they're all there. So congratulations for this wonderful and enjoy the celebrations. That is why today we have less audience. So next Friday, remember you got to invite more people and more of your downlines to this because it's going to help them to achieving a better health and help more people. Okay, thank you very much and wish you good weekend and good night. You can download the presentations now from the Zoom. People are downloading. Okay, and from time to time, I'm going to send this to the, to email to your general managers and also your leaders, your Diamond Club members. Remember all the new Diamond Club members. So if you don't have the email address from the company, the Greenwood email address, please, you got to, give us the account name so we can help you to we can help you to register a new email address in Greenwood the company's email address, so you can have a, official Greenwood email address for all the Diamond Club members. You check your emails from time to time. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. We see you next week.
Thank you, Madam Rainie.
Thank you.
Very much, Miss Rene.
Thank you.